Look at this French provincial nightstand I got at Salvation Army for just $20. I'll be giving it a Chippy Farmhouse look. Check it out. I gave it a good cleaning using Dixie Belle's White Lightning, then sanded it down to its original finish. I primed it using 2 coats of bonding boss, then painted in my first layer, which was Midnight Sky. Now, if you've never used Midnight Sky before, it's a gorgeous shade of black. It's not quite jet black, but it's like a shade above that, and I really like this one. I had to do about 4 coats of it just to make sure that everything was covered. For layer number 2, I'll add Weeping Willow and Vintage Duck Egg to both sides using the Sonoran Tile stencil. This layer is going to be mostly hidden. There's going to be a chipped look on top of it, but you're going to be able to see it just a little bit. Layer number 3 is our star of the show. I'll add sea salt spray to drop cloth to give the paint a thicker consistency. Using my trowels, I'll spread the paint up and down and back and forth in different directions. If you've never used trowels before, I promise you it's not as hard as you think it is. All you have to do is just keep adding a little bit more paint in an area if you think it doesn't have enough, and it gives your piece a whole new character. In the center, I did a crackle effect using drop cloth as a top layer. This is going to give it that vintage look. As before, this is going to be very subtle. I'm going to be putting the decoupage over top of this, and the only place that you're going to see that crackle is in the lighter areas. I put down a layer of clear coat satin, and then I took my decoupage and sprayed it really well. Once I did that, I laid it down, and I took a little bit of saran wrap and smoothed it out, make sure I don't have any air bubbles. And then I went in with that clear coat satin again and did a layer on top of it. The background on the decoupage is very similar to Midnight Sky, so that's the color I used to blend it in. Now you'll barely be able to see the lines on the decoupage itself. Now it's time to add some detail. I came in with Victorian damask stencil and used drop cloth to give a pattern around and above the chicken. To the corners, I added highlights of brown best stain wax and a little bit of Dixie dirt. This is going to help give it a really grungy look. Here's our final product. One thing that you can take away from this is it's all about the layers. The more layers you add, the more character your piece is going to have, and the more realistic it is. Hope you enjoyed.